Comment about the season and the upcoming game Friday?
Obviously, it's a great time of year and getting ready to tip off the season, and we're excited about the opportunity to start playing for real. And obviously, we know Marquette's a very good team, and will be a huge challenge for us. But we're looking forward to getting out there and and putting all the hard work in that we put in the preseason, and actually get ready to start playing for real.
Heath, the last couple of weeks, what's been your kind of biggest takeaways from these sort of last week's practices where things get going?
We are starting to understand our identity. I think that is the biggest thing that we've tried to talk about since we started practice. Actually in the fall was developing an identity and understanding what it is that we need to do to be successful. And I think that each practice, then we went and scrimmaged 2 weeks ago, and then obviously playing on Thursday, watching the film, I think that we're starting to understand our identity a little bit better.
How would you describe that identity for the people who haven't watched it yet?
Well, I think that first and foremost, we have to take great shots. We have to have a defensive mindset. I think that that's probably the biggest thing I've tried to change since we've been here, is to try to have a defensive mindset. We're not going to be successful in our conference, and obviously to reach our goals, trying to outscore everybody every night. And I think that to have a defensive mindset, to understand what shots we want to give up, what shots we don't, and then coming down and when we miss, trying to flow and get easy baskets, and then if we don't, we want to be able to be disciplined and execute our stuff. And we call it very simple, but discipline, execution on both sides of the ball.
Anybody, as far as returners or maybe even you guys, that sort of embrace that identity aspect pretty well as far as what you've seen?
Yeah, I think all the returners have really tried to embrace what it is that we're trying to do. I can't speak more highly of them. I mean, those guys have been great. I mean, they really wanted to change, and they understand that we need to do things different. And so I've really talked to them about having a plan and being able to execute our plan on both sides of the ball. And our guys have really accepted that. And obviously, we have some game slippage. And Thursday night, unfortunately, I wasn't here, but watching the film, it was the first time that we played in front of the lights, and we had a little bit of slippage. But for the most part, I was pleased with that we're actually trying to play the right way.
You talked earlier about how with new post players kind of shifts Miles Taylor's role a little bit. Can you kind of tell us a little bit specifically what you expect from a couple of those post players who might sort of play the most, and what you need for them to do?
Well, I think obviously Miles playing a lot of minutes at the 4, I think is going to be able to benefit us. Obviously he's going to play a lot. I think that as Arkeem continues to find his rhythm, I think he's obviously someone that can really help us throughout the season, because it allows Miles to shift over and play a lot of 4, and it allows I think Arkeem's ability to score on the block and being able to be a threat in there really makes us different in our league, having 2 guys like that. Tamon Howard is very valuable because he's a guy that will play a lot of 3, but can also shift down and play the 4, and we can go a little bit smaller and be a little bit more athletic maybe. And I think Chandler Rose, up to this point, I love his energy and I love his basketball IQ. The ball flows through him really well. And Javier didn't get a lot of minutes on Thursday, but his ability to just be tough and do all the dirty work is something that every team needs.
Talk to us a little bit more about Arkeem. I mean, is he your best low post scoring threat, you think, at this point?
Yeah, I think that him and Miles both are, but I think that obviously Arkeem is, he's a big presence, and through the last 24 practices or what have you, I think that he's proven to be pretty consistent, as a really viable post option. And again, I think it allows Miles to shift over and play his natural position a lot. But we'll also slide Miles down and play him at the 5, and play Chandler a little bit at the 4, and Arkeem as well, and Tamon. So we have a few options, which I think is great. But the way we want to try to build this program is from the inside out. And I love the fact that we have good guards. And you look at the teams like Murray State and people like that. Their bigs are very good, and we have to continue to build our team and our program from the inside out.
How do you see the backcourt shaping up this season?
I think we have a lot of depth. I think we have 6 guys that can really play significant minutes in the backcourt, which I love. You know, obviously DeVille is a proven guy at this level. I think that D had a great game on Thursday, brought him off the bench. I think that, you know, and he was second in our team in minutes. So we really don't talk a lot about starting games as much as we talk about finishing games. I think Alex Anderson's had, you know, his moments as well, and you know, a lot of those guys is growing into and you know, into playing at this level. And you know, so I like I said, I think we got 6 guys that can really play significant minutes in the perimeter.
Let's just add one more question about the post guys. What's I guess the biggest area that they need to improve on is through this non-conference season to be ready for the non?
Well, I think that, you know, I'll always talk about defense first. I think defensively we need to do a better job on our ball screen coverage, our pick and roll coverage. I think we have to do a better job of not letting guys get the ball in the block where they want it. And I think we have to do a better job of being the first line of defense and help when, you know, to attack penetration. Offensively, I think we need to establish where we want to catch the ball. I think as a perimeter guys, we have to get used to playing with post guys. And post guys that are actually viable options in there. So just understanding timing and spacing. And then the other thing I think offensively is just being able to play with each other. You know, we call it big brother, little brother, but being able to play with each other in the post. So those are probably the 5 or 6 things I think we need to continue to grow on as the year progresses.
What's sort of your biggest goals of this non-conference? You know, playing in the league, it's usually one big league. I mean, coaches have different sort of, I guess, goals from it. What's your main goal?
Well, you know, I told our team, I mean, we're trying to win every game we play. You know, if we play checkers on Saturday night in the Elam Center, we're trying to win a checkers. So I think that's first and foremost. We're trying to win every game we play. And then to understand, on top of that, is continue to get better every day. You know, we obviously, you know, you're not going to win a championship in November, but you're setting yourself up to continue to get better and to hopefully win a championship in March. But you know, make no mistake. I mean, obviously, you know, we got a lot of road games, and I inherited a schedule that you know, has us on the road. I think 8 of the first 9, if I'm not mistaken. So you know, obviously that's hard and that's challenging. And but the beauty of it is that we're going to learn a lot from it, because if you're going to win a conference championship, you're going to have to figure out how to win, you know, certain games on the road in league. And you know, I think that every day, you know, I ask our guys, you know, if we're getting 3 things. Number 1, are we getting better? Number 2, are we getting tougher? And number 3, are we getting hungrier? And we should those 3 things should be happening every day. You know, every game we play, we should be getting those 3 things. We should be getting a little bit better. We should be getting tougher. We should be getting hungrier. And if those things happen, then the rest of it will take care of itself throughout the year.
I don't know, I can't remember when you mentioned this, but I know sometimes you said you wanted this team to play like it has a sort of defensive chip on its shoulder or whatever. How long before you think the fans and other people watching will sort of see that?
Well, I don't know. I think that, you know, when you take over a program that was 345 out of 345 on the defensive end, and you hold anybody to 48 points, I think that, you know, there's some things that are changing. Now, we're not there yet, but you know, but I think our mindset is starting to change. I think that our people who come watch us play will see a team that obviously looks different, is going to play a lot differently than has been played here before. We're just not going to run down the floor and take bad shots. We're not going to not have structure, and we're going to be able to flow and run on misses, but on made baskets and things. You know, we want to take great shots. We want to talk about it. I mean, Larry Brown, you know, had this quote a long time ago. We want to play the right way, and you know, so there's obviously you know, a lot of growth that needs to happen, but we're making our strides. I'm proud of it. I'm really happy about where we are. Not satisfied, but we've made a lot of strides.
You know, Marquette, can you just talk a little bit about them? Obviously, you know, it's a pretty proven program, and just as far as this year's team, though, what can you say about them? Do you know about them?
Well, I don't know a lot because you know, we don't really have any film on them at this point. But you know, looking at their box score, you know, they're not playing very big because they don't have a lot of big guys. So we're going to have to do a really good job of guarding them on the perimeter. We're going to have to really do a good job of taking away the 3, and you know, we're going to have to take care of their pressure. I mean, you know, obviously, Coach Wojo is going to come in there and try to get after us defensively, and you know, so we're going to have to be very strong mentally. We're going to have to be very strong physically with the basketball. You know, we're going to have to try to play the game at our pace, and you know, but obviously it'll be a great experience for us and one we're looking forward to.
Anything else? All right. Thanks, Coach.
You got it. Thank you.